And breathe. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Fulham 1, West Ham United 1. I'm angry. I'm happy. I'm bubbling. I'm fucking fuming. I'm all of the above, Jay. Do you know what I'm saying? How are you anyway, before we get started?
I don't really know. Exactly what you said, mate. First of all, thank whatever God you pray to for Danny Ings, because my God, I think we were all ready to come on here and absolutely rage over how poor that performance actually was, because we were dreadful, absolutely dreadful. But before we go into that, I'm delighted for Danny Ings, like absolutely buzzing. He's granted, he's earning a hell of a lot of money, but he's sat on a bench. He gives it his all when he comes on. He looked like he wanted it, gets his one chance and did exactly what we needed him to, and he buried it. Buzzing for anyone who's in that away end. There's nothing like a 90-something minute goal to go in right in front of you. So delighted for Danny Ings, but we have got a lot to unpack from that performance, I'm sure.
I'm not happy, mate. I'm going to be real. I'm happy with the point. I'll take the point. Fair enough. But Lopetegui is a fucking idiot. And I'm going to say it quite openly, right? He's a fucking idiot. This man has managed Spain, Real Madrid, Seville. He's managed all these sides, and he somehow comes up with the fucking brain-dead attitude of playing Thomas Souček as a 10 and playing players, big players, in their wrong fucking positions, which I do not get. I really do not get. The first half, we're going to speak about the first half, and hopefully Lucas will be along shortly. The first half was fucking shit. I'm going to be real. It was fucking absolutely diabolical. What did you make of the first half?
Exactly what you just said, mate. I think the problem started from the lineup. Now, we sat here late last night, talked through what we wanted to see, talked about this being the opportunity for certain players and for Lopetegui to really, really set his stall out and show other teams that we're no mugs and we're going to turn up and we're going to play football. But we just didn't. It was really, really hard to watch that first half. And if it weren't for VAR going our way for a potential penalty and what's his name, Traore, not able to hit a barn door, we could have been 3 down and it could have been exactly the same as last year. So we really got away with that. But that lineup was a joke. And the problems in that first half came from the 3 players that we said shouldn't have been playing, which was Mavropanos, Souček, and Antonio. And all 3 of them cost us that first half. And if it weren't for them, perhaps we'd have gone in at 0-0. Lopetegui would have changed it and maybe we'd have gone on and won that game. But we were dreadful. And those 3 players are at the heart of where all of our problems were.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting, mate. I'm going to be honest. Lopetegui's starting to piss me off already. And that is, I know it's only short. And people go, you got to trust the process. What fucking process do I have to trust? When you got Mavropanos who can't fucking defend, you got Souček who's no good as a number 10. And I'll tell you what, last season, that would be Moyes doing that. Pete, there'd be certain man wanting to hang the cunt from Stratford, right? And now we've got Mikel Antonio up front also, which is doing nothing. Yeah, that first half was shit. The less said about that first half from me, the fucking better, right? He makes subs at half time. Thank fuck for that. Thank fuck he's got a brain cell in his head, Lopetegui, right? What do you make of Paqueta and Somerville coming on? Because I thought they did make a difference straight away.
I thought Somerville was the brightest player that we had in that second half. I'm pleased that he come on and he wanted to get on the ball and he looked lively. He still doesn't look like he's fully up to speed. And if that is him not up to speed, then I'm delighted. I think he came on, he wanted the ball, he ran at players, he won a few fouls. His link up with Bowen immediately as he come on and played a little 1-2 and he was through. And he got fouled and drew a yellow card for, I think it was Calvin Bassey maybe, was the prime example of what we were missing. But this isn't news to any of us. Like we're not sitting here going, oh, Jesus Christ, Lopetegui's a genius for changing that. He was correcting his own mistakes. So when you suddenly put a left winger on the left wing, you put Mo on the right and you put Bowen through the middle, a player who wants to get on the ball and is able to play those intricate 1-2s and stuff like that, suddenly we looked a different team and it wasn't rocket science. As far as Paqueta goes, again, I don't think he was phenomenal, but he's exactly what we needed in terms of someone who wants to play on the half turn. And you could see when he come on, he got the ball, and what's the first thing he did? He immediately went, "Where's Jared Bowen?" And he tried to sling the ball through to Jared Bowen. And towards the end of that game, when we had concerted pressure and we had a period where we were dominating the ball, which ultimately culminated in us scoring the equaliser, he was the one on the edge of the box who was the link-up man, who was playing the ones and twos, and who was trying to play those killer balls. So, again, it ain't rocket science. We put attacking players in positions that they're comfortable, and we started to look the better team in that second half. So, I think the subs were right, but we shouldn't have been in that position.
I agree. Lucas, welcome. What do you make of that, mate?
First off, hope you both are well. Hope chat's well. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack from that match, but ultimately very happy with the point. In hindsight, probably should have lost, to be quite honest, but we take a draw all day long. But yeah, I think there's just a lot to unpack, really, a lot of things. And I heard what Jay was saying towards the end when I came in, and I agree a bit. But that's the one thing I do like about Lopetegui a lot. He does make the changes when necessary, but really the lineup today, and again, I wasn't one to freak out or anything. I'm done freaking out really over the lineup, but you could easily tell when the lineup came out, seeing those three midfielders. I didn't see the vision, really, not a lot of creativity, but again, we'll deep dive into it more, but really, I don't have like any intricate details or anything. There's just so much that I seen today that I really didn't like, and just some things that are questionable. But ultimately, I'm happy we walked away with the point, because we really shouldn't have.
I hear you, mate. I do, yeah. But this one today fucking winds me up massively. I think today.
I know you love saying paper over the cracks, but I really never use that term. But I thought today was pure definition.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. What I can't get, yeah, is like the square pegs in round holes when you got talented footballers there sitting there waiting to play. Like, the second half wasn't vintage West Ham, but we fucking looked a lot better. We look a lot better. And I'm thinking to myself, Lopetegui, what the fuck are you seeing at the start of the game? And listen, right, we're not all football experts, but we're not fucking thick. We all know that it wasn't working in the first half. We're standing there going, what is going on? We can't get the ball. They are all over us. We had 0.19 XG, I think.
Well, we couldn't get the ball because, I mean, we literally have three midfielders that Guido Rodriguez is really the only one that's like actively looking to get the ball. And he's like, we have one deep line playmaker, we have a defensive midfielder, and then we have Souček, who is literally in a world, in a land that he's not used to, he's never been in. And so, like, again, when you put him in the 10, I don't know what people should expect. I feel a bit bad for him when he plays there, because like he can only do so much. But I think we can all agree with when the lineup came out today, it was very questionable. And even the subs were good. Even the Danny Ings one at the end, it was a bit weird. And there are some things that shifted around that I didn't like. Like Kudus, when Ings came on, went back to the left, which didn't make any sense to me. But again, in fairness, Danny Ings comes on, great throw in from Sufal, great effort from Bowen to keep the ball in, and he ended up playing a worldie of a pass while the ball's going on. And then Danny Ings' sublime finish, all credit to him. But again, it just causes a lot more carnage now in the weeks to come, because I mean, Danny Ings comes on and scores. You got to give him his flowers. You got to think about him a little bit. But yeah, just today, a really, really weird match. But I'm buzzing we got a point.
I'm over the moon we got a point. Yeah, I am. Yeah, and I'm going to let Jay sort of land on anything he wants to say before I let Daddy come in, right? I'm happy with the point, right? But it does paper over the fucking cracks, ladies and gentlemen, big time. And the problem is that I saw this at Crystal Palace. First half, completely outplayed in moments. Today, we was completely outplayed in the first half, right? There's no excuses about it. What I can't work out is the philosophy. Are we a pressing side? What are we? Are we trying to control the tempo of the game? Because you're playing three slow midfielders in Souček, Rodriguez and Alvarez in there. Yeah, two of them are breakup merchants, destroyers, and one of them's fucking running around like an
I
headless
just keep
chicken.
thinking of the Gordon Ramsay meme, just yelling, "What are you?"
I get, yeah, exactly that, right? So what the fuck is he doing then, right? And then you've got the likes of like Antonio, who, listen, I love Antonio, yeah, he's been a great servant to West Ham, but he should not be fucking starting for us. Like, he shouldn't. I'm gonna say it with fucking heart. He shouldn't be starting. He's 34 years old. Do you know what I mean? Danny Ings, right, comes on and saves the day for us. And then there's us pricks as fans slagging him off. And he comes on and saves the fucking day for us. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like that. Jay, go on, mate.
The thing that baffles me, right, is I was sat there at half time just gobsmacked. Not at what I'd seen, but because as soon as we saw that lineup, we all knew what we were in for. Like every single one of us who at least has half a brain cell when it comes to talking West Ham knew exactly what was going to happen. We knew that there is no dynamism in that midfield. And I'll drop a couple of stats at you just to say that we weren't all hallucinating. And again, I love the two blokes, but Souček and Antonio offered nothing. But the thing that I don't like, because I can stomach losing, I can stomach us playing badly. I had no problem with a loss against Man City. I even didn't really have much of a problem with a loss against Villa because it was first game and we were learning about what worked and what didn't. But we played the same tactic against Villa and we expected something different today. In those key positions, Thomas Souček had 15 touches in the first half, made 8 passes and 4 of them were misplaced. That's not good enough. That's a number 10. And we weren't all hallucinating. He was nowhere to be seen. Mikel Antonio, 22 touches, 7 out of 10 passes completed. That's 2 players in the most crucial positions for us to create goals that did absolutely nothing. And we threw 45 minutes away by playing some tactic that, to your point, James, I've got no idea what we were hoping for. I don't know what our plan was to try and score a goal. Kudus and Bowen couldn't get in a game for the exact reasons that we saw. If you don't play a number 10 who wants to drop into the holes and get on the ball, they can't link up with the wingers, and the wingers are just on their own. What do we expect?
In second half, when Jared Bowen shifted to striker, I thought his hold-up play was decent. So, again, he just continues to prove that if he has to play 9, he can. And I don't know. I hate the striker issue. It's so annoying. And now the tactics issue as well, because really we don't know what we're seeing, especially defensively, because I thought defensively we were an absolute joke today, especially for the first goal. That was
100%.
That was a complete disgrace from all fronts.
Fucking
I told you before as well with Lopetegui, like this high line offsides trap crap.
Yeah.
It's just, I've said it a million times. I will be absolutely shocked if we keep more than 10 clean sheets this season. I really will. I knew coming into the season, I signed up for mediocre defending. Like,
I never signed up for this though, Lucas.
I knew, I don't know. I think there will be good individual performances from defenders this season, but is a collective, with what Lopetegui wants to do, from what I've seen so far, it's not going to happen. We
can't keep relying on Max Kilman to be putting in 8 and 9 out of 10 performances every week, right?
And I'm afraid that's what it's going to take to get a clean sheet. And even so, that still might not be good enough, because I didn't think Kilman was that bad today. I thought Emerson done literally as much as he could with that absolute monster today.
Yeah.
Adama Traore is an absolute specimen. And I thought Wan-Bissaka was okay, but really, again, in order to be a good defensive unit, it's got to be a collective. And really, right now, we just can't seem to gel into that. Yeah, I know you'll hate it, but it takes time with 3 new defender or 2, half a new unit. But I'm more worried about the tactics and the philosophy, if anything, not the quality of players.
I agree with you on the tactics side of it, because I don't know what the fucking tactics was today. Like, if someone can tell me in the chat what the tactics was in the first half to the second half, I'd love to hear it. All it seemed like to me is that we're going to get the ball, try and get the ball to Souček. He holds it up and brings others into play. That's it. Like, even in the first half, Antonio is our centre forward. He's on the right fucking wing, and we've got no one up front. Like, I'm thinking to myself, well, what are you doing, bruv? You're supposed to be in the fucking centre and you're on the right wing. I get the argument with Lopetegui, but the issue that I've got with Lopetegui, right, which I think is a key one, is I think he's stubborn. I think this is a very stubborn man who doesn't like to change his ways. Yeah, and what he does is where he's got the firepower on the bench, he changes it when he has to, he has to admit defeat. That is a problem. If we've got a manager who's stubborn, who's going to keep consistently doing this, when you've got Kudus, who's better on the right, you've got Bowen through the fucking middle, you've got Placencio Somerville, who looks dynamite with more game time, he's going to be great. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. Right, let's get this man in, see what he's got to say. So, Daddy, welcome. What you saying?
Oh, man. I'm sorry. Majority of that game was unacceptable. Firstly, the lineup. I mean, who would have thought a midfield with no creativity and we create nothing? Who's shocked by that? Genuinely, no creativity and we don't.
Stevie
create.
Wonder without a piano or mic is what we got.
Who
in the
would have
midfield
thought?
today.
And I'm sorry. And Antonio is a disgrace today. He looked like he couldn't give a crap. Like I'm sorry. It was like playing with 9 men with him and Souček, the Ghost Brothers up front, doing absolutely nothing. And Mavropanos, he's a disgrace. He can't pass. He's literally the worst passer in the team. He can't make passes. He's a terrible defender. Plays Smith Rowe onside for that goal. And then near the end of the game, instead of passing it back to the goalkeeper, he kicks it out of bounds for a throw-in for Fulham. He's an idiot.
What did he do in the second half where he went in for a 50-50? And I went mad. I'm going to be honest. I can't remember what it was. But he went in for a 50-50 in the second half. And then he goes around in a circle, falls over. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, you're our centre half and you can't even stand up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Most of the chances they got are from his mistakes, like the Traore one. He makes a terrible pass. I'm literally, he can't pass. What does he even do? I'm sorry. He's a terrible passer. I'm sorry. He needs to go on the bench. And we're playing Souček. The reason we're playing Souček is for him to go in the box and score goals. Well, when we have no creativity in the game, who would have thought he doesn't get chances? Because he's the one who's supposed to be creating the things.
Can I just quickly say that there's a reason why you don't judge football off of stats, because SofaScore has him as our highest rated player at 7.4. like there's a reason that you have to use your eyes when you're watching a game of football, because I'm looking at that like that is baffling.
Mate, that's why I get so mad at these SofaScore, he scored merchants, bro.
They must be fucking pissed. They must be pissed at their head. Like, because if he's a 7.4, then I'm Slim Jim. You can call me Slim Jim from now on, lads. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not fucking slim.
Can I say something else on the defending? Nothing else has changed. So far this season, we're second last. We have the second most shots conceded. We're conceding so many shots, and we have the second most XG against. So the teams are creating so much against us. Nothing's changed.
Mate, nothing will change.
Nothing will change.
Right, so Daddy, give us your best player today, if there is one.
Somerville, probably.
Yeah,
I thought Rodriguez did all right, to be fair. So,
should I ask you your worst player?
Antonio.
Yeah, he was fucking terrible, mate. Right, and give me a rating out of 10 for Lopetegui, mate.
What's it called? I'll give him a 5. It would have been a 1 if we didn't win, but he subbed on INGS, so he'll get a 5 for subbing on INGS. But if we had lost, it would have been a 0 or a 1. That was disgraceful. And in the second half, when he brought Soler on for Rodriguez, we lost all control. Fulham could have scored 3 or 4 times afterwards.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. Right, I'll let you go today. You take it easy, mate. Oh, that's wrong. Let's do that way.
just on that final point quickly, because that's an interesting point. We took off Rodriguez for Carlos Soler. I actually don't have an issue with that, with us maybe losing control of the game, as Sadadi says there, because we were chasing the game. And it was, again, like one of the few things we can maybe give Lopetegui credit for is he won't sit on his hands when it's going wrong. I think he got it completely wrong in the first half. I think we're all in agreement there. But when we're chasing the game, he's changing the tactics, he's changing the personnel. And we had Carlos Soler in the middle, who was thrown in there to be a bit more of a differential and something different in the center of midfield where we were trying to unlock their defense. So I don't have too much of a problem with that, but otherwise I agree with everything.
I was pleasantly surprised with how aggressive Soler was.
Yeah.
Even though he should have probably realistically been sent off. I didn't think he really had that in him. I thought he was more of a just kind of like this is gonna sound bad, but I don't really mean it in that bad way. I thought he's more of like a soft, creative player, if that makes sense.
But should there be credit there for throwing players on when you've fucked it up in a way? Because when you've got the talent pool on the bench, I expect him to use it.
Well,
do you know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. I'm going to say this for the purpose of the conversation, but last season our ex-manager didn't have the personnel that Lopetegui's currently got right now. Right, he didn't have X amount of players who can come on and change the game. Right, so is it really right giving credit to Lopetegui for throwing players on and going for it when he's fucked it up in the first place?
I think I would say yes, because if you got it, you've got to use it. And with Moyes, he didn't have anyone. Like literally, he didn't have anyone. And why would, again, I'm not going to feel sorry for, like, I wouldn't expect Lopetegui to not use his guys. And I'm going to say it until the cows come home, as we say here. Yeah. Like, as much as I really don't rate Lopetegui, and I've said that a million times, and I want him to succeed, one thing I do really love about him is how quick he changes things up. He makes subs at the appropriate time. And, yeah, I mean, if you got it, use it. That's really the moral of the story. Last 3 years, our ex-manager had literally zero options to use or to throw on. Like, it is different. But Lopetegui does deserve credit for doing that, in my opinion.
I'll give him credit for throwing the subs on, but at the end of the day, we shouldn't be in that situation in the fucking first place. Yeah. We simply shouldn't. We shouldn't be playing against Fulham, getting completely dominated. And let's have it right here. Was there any difference with that first half, really, to last season's management? Nothing at all. Yeah, the only difference is second half, he comes out, he changes it because he has to change it because it's so fucking bad, and then we do look better. And in the end, we got a point out of nothing, basically. So you got to give him credit for that. What do you make of what Paul says here? Because I agree with this. Mo was a bit not all there today. Are you guys worried that Mo looks fairly disinterested today? What you're saying?
I think it's a valid point. I think worried's probably the wrong word for me personally. I thought he looked leggy. He's obviously, I don't know if he must have just played for Ghana. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
So he's come back from international duty.
I think that's why we've seen the lineup we did today, to be honest. So that's why I'm not totally going all out on it. I would like to see next week when everyone's fully fit. And to answer Paul's question, this could be a hot take. I don't know. I genuinely thought Mo Kudus was one of our better players today, in my opinion. I thought on the left, even though I don't like him on the left, I still thought his dribbling and some of the runs he made were effective. He got fouled a bunch. But then when he moved to the right, he looked like the old Mo. And then, again, weirdly enough, when Ings came on, he got shifted back to the left for God knows what reason. But I don't know. Disinterested? I wouldn't use that word today. I thought he maybe looked a bit more frustrated than usual because Mo seems like a pretty calm and collected guy, and he just lets the game come to him. Really, he's not really the demanding type, if that makes sense. Kind of like Bowen. Like, they let the game come to them. But I don't know. I thought Kudus was one of our best players today, personally.
Well, I think what Paul means, because where I was watching it, it was said on commentary that he wasn't tracking back. He was, how can I put it?
He made a brilliant tackle in the box today.
Yeah, no, but there was a moment in the second half where it looked like he was getting frustrated. Like massively frustrated, and it was said on commentary also from what I was hearing. So if Paul's been watching on the same thing that I was, then I can understand what Paul's saying. But for me, I just don't like it that he keeps getting shifted from left to right, back to left, and then over to the right again. It's just like the geezer is one of the best dribblers in the Premier League. Stick him on the fucking right because that is where he belongs, and Jared Bowen through the middle. Right, let's talk about the goal that we scored. Danny fucking Ings.
What a man.
Lucas. Wait, 125 grand well spent, isn't it, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen? Fucking hell. What did you make of the sub? Because I'm going to be honest, I've got to take an L. When he was coming on, I sat there because I'm literally watching it from this on this screen. Can't even fucking speak. And basically, I went, "Fucking Danny Ings is coming on to save us," and then he does, mate. So yeah, big L for me.
With Lopetegui, right? I am not afraid to criticize him and say how I feel about him. Again, you all know my stance on it, but I genuinely do like that he throws the kitchen sink at the end. I really do appreciate that. With Moyes was a lot more conservative, a bit more like we'll just see how it keeps going, or like he just que sera. You know what I mean? But with Lopetegui, at least he throws the kitchen sink on at the end. Like he takes Alvarez off, which leaves us with Soler and Paqueta as our two midfielders, and he throws on Danny Ings. I like that a lot. I genuinely do, because at least it's a sign of trying. Like he wants a result. He wants it bad. So, but again, every manager wants it bad, but it's about the actions, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree. And when we talk about Lopetegui's performance today, which we talk about like what you would rate Lopetegui, I think it's possible to rate him in two halves. Like his rating for the lineup in the first half, and then his rating for how he managed.
That's why they created division. not the type of division we've seen over the past 4 years, but the mathematical division.
Yeah, exactly. I think we know that he got it completely wrong in the first half, and it showed. But ultimately, I completely agree with what Lucas has said. He chucked the kitchen sink at it, and I'd have no problem if we lost 2-0 and he'd given it a go, and we got caught on a counter, as we did against City last time when we were 2-1 down. We'd thrown players forward, we got caught on a counter, and Haaland scored, and we lost 3-1. I'd rather lose that game 3-1 knowing that we've tried to equalise than just sit on our hands and make like one change in the 90th minute. So I think the sub of Danny Ings, I mean, ultimately he was right. He got 10 minutes at the end. He come on, he did exactly what he's there to do. He's a fox in the box, and he scored. So, like, look, I think I agree with Lucas in that we've got to try different things. I thought it was getting a bit stale. We had some leggy players. Mo looked tired. Bowen was starting to look tired, and we needed something different. We had a focal point. We had a guy in the middle. Bowen was out on the right where he naturally plays, gets the throw in from Soufal, and you know, he plays a blinder of a ball across, and we score. So there you go.
What do you make of this question from Paul? Shout out to Paul. You have to start Mickey or Ings next game. Who are you picking?
It's tough because
it ain't tough.
I think it is, because Danny Ings is not a hold up type of striker, and that's what we need. So he could literally be, in my opinion, in the same boat as Souček and Mickey. Really, Mickey, at least I know he is the type of striker to play in the system, but it's incredibly inconsistent. That's the thing with Ings. Ings is not a back to the defender type striker. He is quite literally a fox in the box, and he's every single time he has scored for this club. It just shows that. I don't know. It's a tough question.
For me, neither. Start with Jared Bowen.
Hey, but that's not one of the options. Don't be a party pooper.
Listen, right? For me,
you're acting like a politician.
No, I'll tell you what it is, right? Because I've had enough of these fucking wankers keep saying to me, "Oh, you can't play Bowen through the middle." And look at him today. He makes the goal. He makes the goal on his own, right, from that position with the help of Soufal. He also has a great chance, which he's unlucky with. I think if he's a bit further out and he's got more goal to aim at, that's in the back of the net. Yeah. Jared Bowen up front, pressing from the front. I said it the other day. Yeah. Listen, I'm not a fucking div. I know that. But I know when a player is good enough to be up front for West Ham. And for me, Bowen is the guy. You have Bowen up front. You have Kudus in his natural position. And you have Crescencio Somerville on the other side.
That's the only we've talked about a million times. Bowen at striker is literally the only possible way we are going to create our strongest 11. That's literally the only way. And I don't know, it is a weird one, because there are some matches where you want to plan to have some firepower off the bench, but then there's some matches where you have got to have your best 11. And Lopetegui still seems to be working through that. And this match today really didn't help, because I mean, God, how many internationals do we have coming back? on Wednesday, which is insane.
Mm.
It's crazy, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, but I'll always die on the hill that if we want our best and strongest 11, Bowen is going to have to play at striker because, like you all, I'm sick of seeing Mo out on the left. Even though most of the time I'm a bit more negative when he's out on the left, but I thought he was fine today. But it's just so night and day, him on the left and right, and the perfect example of that as well. That ball that Kudus plays into Bowen today, who took the most sublime first touch I've seen and was so unlucky not to score. That would have been, in my opinion, that would have been Brighton away-esque when Benrahma played that ball on them. It would have been a sublime goal. But that is exactly what we are missing when Kudus is on the left. The pace will always be there. The dribbling will always be there. The runs forward will be there. But Mo on his left foot, it is different. He is different gravy on the right when he's crossing the ball in, curling it in, finishing, all sorts. And I don't know what else it's going to take for Lopetegui to just make that change. And I really don't want to see him try and force this left wing Kudus thing because we're what 4 or 5 matches in, whatever. It's boring to me. It is boring.
The thing is, I think you've just said it brilliantly there. I think he's trying to force the issue.
And Kudus will never play that type of cross into Bowen on the left. That will never happen. Every cross that Kudus put in today, maybe bar one, just all the way over to the other touchline.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing with Lopetegui, especially with today's performance, before we come towards the end, is that I feel like we've got the result. People are happy with the result, but then they will forget the performance sort of thing. Whereas I look at the overall game, and for 35 seconds in that second half, towards the right at the end, that was the moment where we sort of equalised. Other than that, I don't remember a lot that we did. Like Bert Leno today, fuck me, he might have been sitting in the fucking goal having a fag and having a pint because he wasn't doing nothing else.
He could have put a lazy boy in his goal. Just sat there all day.
He could have done, mate. It was just, it just wasn't good. But I suppose the positive out of it is we have got a point out the game away from home playing shit. Now, that is a positive because, like, if you're going to play that bad, at least don't lose the game. And that's what I said the other day. As long as we don't lose the game, it will be... Yeah, it'll be a good result. But
just remember, mate. There's people out there. I just want to watch entertaining football. I don't care where we finish. As long as we finish, I don't care if we finish 14th, 15th. If we play entertaining football, I don't care.
Was you guys entertained today before we make a move?
The last 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. And to Richard's point there, like, I don't want to start a whole new conversation when we come to the end, but like, he's absolutely right. Like, Paqueta was out the side, it was stale, it was boring, it was rubbish. We offered nothing. Leno literally, to your point, did nothing in that first half, did very little in the second half. So we're gonna need to have a serious conversation about, like, the old adage of, can we play Paqueta deep with a holding player and then put Kudus in the middle? That's a conversation we're going to have to seriously consider.
If we see that lineup again next week, then again, I'm not the type to really flip out or like grab the pitchforks. But if we see that lineup again next week, that is an absolute disgrace. Especially after what we just seen. Like, the proof is, I know it's only one match with that lineup, but to me, the proof's in the pudding. If you struggled that hard against Fulham, and again, I'm not trying to say Fulham are a bad side. I actually think they're quite decent. But for the amount of hype that we're getting, everyone's saying it's a 10 out of 10 window, 9 out of 10, blah, blah, blah. If we are that good, that lineup today should have been able to really do the business, and it didn't.
If I see that lineup next week against Chelsea, after I've just come back from holiday, travelling all the way back to watch the game, and then he picks that lineup, trust me, fucking be here next week. Because I've just about had a gutful of this sort of project type thing. Yeah. Mo is just not a left-sided attacker. He's a right-sided attacker, and he's one of the best. Yeah. For me, Thomas Souček is a problem, isn't he? Let's be real. I'm going to be honest.
He's a problem in the 10.
he's a problem everywhere in the middle of the spine. Like because you can't put him as a 2-man midfield with Alvarez because Rodriguez. Would you say Rodriguez is better? I'd say Rodriguez is better on the ball.
Yeah,
you
but
can't.
like, does he? I don't know. Me not knowing is part of my issue. Or part of the overall issue, in my opinion. We
But if
still
you've got a
just
choice,
we
though,
don't know
Lucas.
because
Yeah, but
Rodriguez.
Yeah, but
Okay,
Lucas,
go ahead.
if you've got a choice and you've got Alvarez, Rodriguez, and Suchek, and you can only play 2 of them, you're probably going to play
It
Alvarez
depends
and
on the
Rodriguez.
match for me. It's a match by match basis, but I don't know. I like Rodriguez a lot, but he keeps the ball well. He plays a good few passes, but the same people that had their criticisms of Ward-Prowse, I really don't see a lot different with Guido Rodriguez, if I'm being completely honest. And
Yeah,
it's a lot of aesthetics to me. But in terms of production, I think Guido Rodriguez is a steady player.
yeah.
But besides that, like Ward-Prowse is a steady player, and he's an elite set piece taker.
See, I agree with that. Come on, Paul's on fire tonight. I never believed he's just being respectful to the old guard, but I'm struggling to find another reason. See, I agree with that. Like the Antonio thing up front, like I think that's the one also that's killing us to a point because when you've got a vocal point up front who's not holding the ball up and not influencing the game, then you've got a problem there because obviously the ball's going to keep coming back. So
I think everything's just a match by match basis because I think Anderson and Bassey or Bassey, however the hell you want to pronounce his last name, they are 2 solid center. Or Anderson, good center half. Bassey, I think he's decent. 2 physical guys. It was a rough day for Antonio. So like with your question, Guido Rodriguez or Thomas Suchek, I just think it's so 50-50 and it depends on the match we're playing. Now, if you ask me, Olympic Coliseum or Greek Coliseum one-off match, the other side dies if they lose, I'm starting Suchek.
Fair enough. We're all dead.
I don't know.
100%. Listen, before we make a move, because I will make a move in about 5 minutes. What do you make of that ref today? Because I thought he was fucking atrocious. I don't know about you, Joe.
Dreadful, absolutely dreadful, mate. Every time he went near a Fulham player in the first half, he blew his whistle. Jared Bowen apparently committed a foul for getting elbowed in the face by someone, like which I could not understand. Like Paqueta as well, and then he does the same thing the other way round, and yet it's a foul by Paqueta. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But he got it wrong. But he got it wrong both ways. Soler was lucky to stay on the pitch. Soler was so lucky to stay on the pitch. Calvin Bassey kicked Mohamed Kudus in the upper thigh. No yellow card. Like I could not understand. This ref was all over the place today, and he was an absolute shambles. So I cannot understand that referee's performance.
I can't wait to rate him later on the player ratings. That'd be fucking fun.
Oh yeah, that and I am so sick of these. I'm sick of the center halves flopping on top of the ball when they get touched and they get the foul. Like I don't know. It's just one, it's comical. 2, it's an absolute hypocrisy to the game of football. It really is. Like, yeah, let me just put one of my weakest players at center half so we can just get fouls from flopping on top of the ball. Like, mate, and surely the referee has got to know. Like, I thought same with the penalty today. The only thing he got right was the penalty because, again, ironically enough, that absolute beast of a man went down so easily. Like I don't know. I think the game has been gone for quite some time, but it doesn't seem to. It just comes up with more surprises every single week.
I said exactly the same on the penalty. That is like what Kilman did with that recovery run was a prime example of the defender did enough to put him off. Like it was no way in hell that was a penalty, and Marco Silva going bonkers on the touchline that it wasn't given. It was never a penalty. And he literally put an arm on him and touched him, and this big beast goes down because he was shitting himself over not being able to finish it.
Gail was on commentary for me today over here on Peacock, and he made a great point that the only reason that wasn't a penalty is because Traore runs across him
Yeah.
instead of vice versa, and he did kind of kick a leg out to kind of force a penalty, but that's really about the only thing the ref done well today. But yeah. I will probably, no shock, I will be giving him quite possibly a negative rating, and that normally constitutes jail time.
Yeah, it fucking.
Or prison sentence.
I swear the geezer's on fucking work experience, 100%. Because what I was seeing today, I think I could go and fucking ref that game better than him. And that's not even no joke. Right, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is us done. Fulham 1, West Ham 1. My final thought is this: we've got away with it today, massively. And I'm going to say it with heart.
You know, we didn't even talk about the set piece at the end. Bassey should be putting that away, 1,000%.
Should be, but yet again, we get away with it. It's just getting away with it. I will take the point. We will move on. That is it. Yeah, but Lopetegui has got to get this fucking thing out of his head about keep trying to put square pegs in round holes, because it ain't working at the minute, mate.
And we got to find our best 11. You just can't keep going throughout the season not knowing your best 11. And like you just asked me the question with Rodriguez or Souček, like you got to have one. You like if you're going up against City or Liverpool, you've got to throw your best lineup out there. You got to throw your best 11.
I don't even think he knows, mate. And what worries me more than anything, just to say this, is that I think he's too stubborn in his approach to take players out.
Fight to the death. Lose, you die. You have to have your best 11. Other like Colosseums are available. I will say that. Right, that is us done. Listen, we'll be back later on tonight to do player ratings. Be there, because my rating for the ref's going to be violently strong because he was fucking awful. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV wherever you are. Point gained rather than 2 lost, but isn't good enough for me, and we must do better. Anyway, from me to you, take care.